Someone once said something truly beautiful. Your actions become your real identity because in this world, thousands of people may share the same name but very few share the same character. Hello everyone, this is RJ Salma and today I have brought you a small but deeply meaningful story. This is about a magician, a very talented magician whose fame was spreading across nearby kingdoms because of his incredible tricks and performance. Wherever he went, people gathered to watch him in amazement. One day, news of his talent reached the king's palace. The king ordered his soldier to bring the magician to the royal court and perform magic in front of everyone. The magician became extremely happy. He thought, this is the biggest opportunity of my life. If I impress the king today, I will receive gold reward respect, maybe enough wealth to live happily forever. Excitement in his heart and dream in his eyes, he arrived at the royal court. This palace looked magnificent. Ministers were seated proudly, soldiers stood in discipline, and the king sat on his grand throne, wearing a crown decorated with precious diamond. The magician began showing one trick after another. Sometimes flowers appeared from empty hands, sometimes coin vanished into thin air, sometimes bird flew out of cloth piece. The entire court was amazed. Even the king smiled with happiness, but then greed entered the magician's mind. He thought, I have already shown all my usual tricks. Today I should do something unforgettable, something no one has ever seen before. And in that very moment, he made the biggest mistake of his life. With one magical move, the king's crown suddenly disappeared. For a few seconds, the entire court fell silent. Then some courtiers began laughing. The king felt insulted in front of everyone. His face turned red with anger. He shouted, how dare you insult the king? Throw this magician into prison immediately. After 7 days, he shall be hanged till death. The magician, who had come expecting reward and honor, was dragged away in chains and locked inside a dark prison cell. When the magician's wife heard the news, she rushed to meet him, crying uncontrollably, but when she reached the prison, she was shocked. The magician was sitting there peacefully smiling. His wife cried and said, have you gone mad? After 7 days you are going to die and you are smiling? The magician calmly replied, why are you worrying so much? 7 days are still left. Until then, why should we stop smiling? Be happy, everything will be fine. His wife thought fear had affected his mind. The next day she came again. The magician smiled and said, now 6 days are left. Another day passed. Now 5 days are left. Then 4 days. Every single day, while everyone around him was drawn in fear, the magician remained calm. Finally, the day of execution arrived. The king himself came riding on a horse to see the magician one last time. And the moment the magician looked at the king's horse, an idea suddenly came into his mind. This time, instead of smiling, the magician began crying loudly. The king was surprised. He said, that day you insulted me by making my crown disappear, and you showed no fear. Today death stands before you, and now you cry. The magician folded his hand and replied, my king, I am not afraid of death. Everyone who comes into this world must leave one day. But I feel sad because for many years I have been secretly working on a special art. I was teaching a horse how to fly. The king's eyes widened in surprise. The magician continued, "My work was almost complete. Just one more year, and I could have made this horse fly through the sky. But now that secret art will die with me forever." The king became greedy. He began, "Imagine, if I get a fly horse, I can defeat every enemy kingdom. No one will ever be able to stop me." After thinking for a moment, the king said, "Fine, I give you 1 year. If within 1 year you make the horse fly, you shall be freed forever. But if you fail, then after 1 year you will be hanged." The magician immediately agreed. And just like that, the man who was supposed to die that day walked out of prison alive. When he reached home, the entire house was filled with sorrow. Relatives were crying. His wife sat silently with tears in her eyes. But the moment she saw her husband alive, happiness returned to the house. After some time, everyone left. Only the magician and his wife remained. His wife asked nervously, "Tell me honestly, how did the king release you?" The magician smiled and said, "I promised him that within 1 year I would make a horse fly." His wife became angry again. "That's impossible. Horses cannot fly." The magician laughed softly and replied, "I know. Maybe within 1 year the king dies, maybe the horse dies, maybe I die, or maybe somehow I truly learn something new. Why should I destroy today by worrying about a tomorrow that hasn't even arrived yet?" And do you know what happened? Within a few months, the king died. Sometime later, the horse also died. And with that, the entire matter ended forever. No punishment, no hanging, no fear. I once read somewhere, if you think about a problem for 5 minutes and still cannot find a solution, then stop worrying and leave it in God's hand. Because some things are solved not by fear but by time. So my dear friends, live today, smile today, love today, because tomorrow will come on its own, and when it comes you will face it with the strength of your action and faith, and your deeds become your true identity. Keep smiling, keep me in your prayer. RJ Salma is signing off. Shab-ba-khair.